We're back, changing construction experiences. This is Renovate and Build with Jim and Sandra.
Hello and welcome back to Renovate and Build. Jim and Sandra with you here on Saturday morning, and we are talking construction, which we mentioned last week does not just mean hammer and nails. It means real estate, architects, designers, abatement experts, and the list, of course, goes on.
Yeah, Sandra, it's interesting that, after being in the business most of my adult life and talking with homeowners, I really started to realize that it's still one of those areas that people really don't seem to understand, or kind of how it works or how they safeguard themselves through this process, until they're literally in the midst of a reno or new home build, and then knee deep in sometimes what can be a big disaster, and they still really, it's really such a nerve-wracking time for them. And as I've discussed before, this is one of the main reasons that I wanted to be here every Saturday morning for Renovate and Build. One of our goals is, even if listeners learn one or two things during the show, or we start their learning process by talking to an expert, then I believe that we've done our job.
Create some water cooler talk.
Exactly.
I think it's actually been the do-it-yourself shows that really helped Canadians to start thinking about home renovation. I think that, and even their offices, there's been all kinds of shows on the different channels, the various channels, but I think that what they did is sometimes create unrealistic expectations. I know that before I got involved in a home renovation, I thought from watching TV that it was a much simpler process. The solution was solved in 30 minutes or less, and of course it was always successful, which isn't always the case if you don't have successful people working with you.
Yeah, I think the shows have incited people to start to really understand and envision the potential in the end product, and really start to see how to unlock these spaces or create revenue producing properties and things like this. But the shows haven't kind of educated or disclosed the actual process and how it should be done, and construction takes expertise, due diligence, planning, legal contracts, the list goes on, and I'm not discouraging people to build, but I'm encouraging them is to find the right people to make sure that these huge investments become a success. And I encourage them to ask questions and ensure that their funds are protected at all times. They get the right people involved. They're getting true value in the cost estimates, and they're getting the quality that I believe that should be driven into every home in Canada to make sure our housing stock is being invested in the correct manner. And don't go on somebody's word. Check the references, check the qualifications. The list goes on, and And of course, that's what the Fair Trade Works business model is all about, of doing all those things, all that due diligence up front, to ensure that our end users, our consumers, are guaranteed these kind of successful projects, and then make sure they get paying the consistent price point and consistent quality to really rejuvenate the industry, and making sure that all consumers, in the huge money that they're spending, which we talked on earlier in the show, is going in the right direction and spent in the right manner.
Celebrating almost 2 years in business, we of course have heard lots of stories from homeowners who call us, and unfortunately some call us after the fact when they are knee deep, as you said, in a disaster. If I am allowed to tell one homeowner, and I promise I won't mention names or addresses, who called us, Jim, the lady that called with the contractor that had fallen through the roof of her home, and she thought that she was just going to hire a local guy, and he showed up with a sign on his door and said, "I'll do your roof, and here's the price," and gave a very reasonable quote. Unfortunately, she didn't check if he was WorkSafe covered and insured, etc. And if he didn't start his roofing project, fell through her roof onto her dining room table, and remember, he wrecked the table, hurt himself badly, and then unfortunately tried to sue her as well. So she called us in tears, and we had put in an original quote for her, and of course now it was going to be more money because she needed structural repair, etc. But she was in quite a fix, and I really felt sorry for her because of also the emotional damage that had taken place at that point, because she's sitting with a lawsuit over her head and a roof and no table, and it was quite an experience for her.
Stressful times, yeah. And
it is stressful.
And that's not the only story. As you know, Fair Trade Works has been jumped in to clean up so many projects that have not been kind of how the homeowners envisioned them, right? So, I guess my last words or one of my, never my last words.
I was going to say never your last words.
And why I started Fair Trade Works is to really remind people that there's so much more to construction, home and commercial construction, than just the end product, the liquor paint and a pretty facade. You want your investment to last. You want to make sure that you're investing your dollars correctly. You make sure you're getting, again, that consistent price point and that market value, the quality. And you wouldn't just walk up to, in any other sector, to a man on the street or knocked on your door or a referral to work with them, let you in your home and got a metallic sign on the side of the truck and can't produce any documentation and scoot around questions. And they answer the phone for the first 2 weeks of engagement and don't for the next 2 weeks, and don't show up for 3 days and do show up for a week, and the guys show up with running shoes on, and the guys show up, they speak a foreign language, and the consumer can't get any answers. And that's why we started Fair Trade Works. It's time for change. It's really time to clean up the industry, to make sure that consumers are protected when they're spending these millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars through the construction process. And it's deadly serious, and it's very important. And that responsibility I take very heavily, being the owner and president of Fair Trade Works.
It's time for the Product Face-Off.
To help you navigate through the increasingly complex world of home improvement gadgetry, if that's a word, each week on Renovate and Build, we send 2 of our Fair Trade Works team members out to the marketplace to find products which they believe are worthy of your attention. It's called Product Face-Off.
Good morning, Meg. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim.
Nice
Good
to see
morning,
you.
Sandra.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Almost got Sandra there. It's nice to see both you guys on this Saturday morning. This means, if you're smiling, that means it's either payday or you've been out shopping again this week.
Yes, we have.
Oh yeah, we have.
What did you pick up?
All right. The products that we're going to be introducing today, you will never have to dig deep into your pocket for keys again.
Right.
Yes.
We like that.
Yeah.
How many times I lose my keys? I enjoy
Smart
this.
locks. Smart locks. That's what we're introducing to you guys today.
That's right. And for the smart locks, you can set it up so that it automatically unlocks as you approach your door. It's powered by Bluetooth technology, of course. And this works perfectly when your hands are full with groceries or if you have a sleeping child in your arms.
Or if you're one of those guys who go to the gym and don't feel like taking anything else with you except for your protein drink bottle and your phone. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
Yeah. So the one that I'm going to be introducing, it's called the Wiser Kevo. Wiser has been around for about 100 years making locks. So they are really reliable locks. And these locks, they look like a really traditional deadbolt, except it has a ring that will light up when you press on the light tap on the deadbolt itself. Once your Bluetooth is connected, it will go green when the door's unlocked, and it will go red when the door's locked. So it's
So
really
you're not
good.
guessing. At least
You're
you've got
not
that
guessing.
visual
Yeah,
confirmation.
it's got that visual. Yeah, and it's really low profile. Your neighbor probably won't even see that you have an expensive lock, installed on your door. It's smartphone activated. It runs on iPhone app, so you can go to the iPhone app store and download it, and it even keeps track of who's entering or exiting your house. So when you're out or when you are out of town, and you can look at, turn on the iPhone app, and then you can tell who just came to your house and what time she left.
I love it.
cool.
Yeah.
So if the teenagers are bringing home other guests, we'll see
yeah.
them.
Yeah, exactly. Or the
Hot.
boyfriends, the girlfriends can be checking on the boyfriends.
But also good for trades. Like I guess if you're letting a cleaner in
Yes.
or a trade in, you can provide a temporary
We
key.
actually have a trade who is already switching to this lock for monitoring all his workers already on one of our job
Incredible.
sites. Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah.
Now, does that work for Androids too? I know you said iPhone.
Not this one.
Not that one.
Not
Okay.
this one.
I just wanted to make sure.
It comes in 3 colors, so you can match your door handles. It comes in silver, gold, and black, and it runs on 4 AA AA size batteries. And for myself, I'm using one at home, and I'm using rechargeable batteries just because you don't want to be getting new batteries every month or 2.
Right. Does it go
Yeah.
through them quickly, Gary?
Yeah, about a month time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
I
bad at all.
usually replace the batteries and recharge the old set every 3 weeks or so.
Okay. Your
Yeah.
home's going to be filled with all kinds of new gadgets off Jim's
Oh,
card.
yeah. And even if the battery's dead, you can use a traditional key or a key fob that came with the unit.
Okay. I was going to
That's
ask for
smart, yeah.
safety's sake if the batteries are out.
It's pretty safe. Better
Okay.
than those fingerprinted ones before from 5 years ago. I've heard some funny stories. People use spray bumps and spray over the sensor, and then the homeowner couldn't get home. This is much smarter now.
Oh, yeah. I never heard that
Yeah,
story
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Right.
Meg, what's your product?
Yeah, my product is the Goji Smart Lock, and unlike Gary's, who the product only works with iPhones, you said, Gary?
Yes.
Mine works with any smartphone platform, so that's really good. The beauty of this is that when you come to the door, it welcomes you. So the lock itself says, "Welcome home, Sandra. Welcome home, Jim."
That's
so if
funny.
you need somebody to, to greet you at the door, there you have it. You have one. Your lock does that for you. And then it also has a camera. So it shows you who's at your door before you let them in. It also, in that way, it acts as a
The
remote.
mother-in-law.
Right. Keep it locked.
Sorry, not home.
Not welcome. No kidding. Anyway, so it tells you who's at your door and sends it as a text to your phone.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so you get to see who's there before you even come to the door. And you could also lock your door from anywhere around the world. You could be on vacation and you can see whoever's at your door. So that's really cool if you ask me.
Especially for snowbirds who are flying away for 6 months and can see what's going on in their home.
Absolutely. And if you're worried about losing your phone and not getting access to your home, they have a 24/7 customer service line that you can call and they can unlock it for you. And it also comes with like e-keys and fobs, a key fob, but it'll probably cost you a little extra if you want more fobs.
Your key fob's $40 extra each,
Yes,
right?
$40 extra each. The unit itself is $278. And it comes with 4 e-keys that you can assign to your house guests or your cleaners like we discussed earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So my unit was $249. It's a little cheaper. It comes with 5 e-keys, 1 extra, and comparing to yours, and the key fob's free. We can find mine at the no, not mine yet. No, actually, I do have one, so it's mine.
Yes, it is
yes,
yours.
yes. You can find it at the Future Shop, Home Depot, or any Wiser dealers around town.
Right, and
Yeah.
mine can only be bought from gojiaccess.com for now. So it's pretty exclusive. You have to go to their website.
All right. Well, great
Fantastic.
products. We just want to point out they're not just super shoppers. Gary and Meg do a lot more at Fair Trade Works. Gary actually is one of our client advisors. So for each of the projects, he has a dedicated advisor for you, and that's what Gary's role is. So he's a construction professional who's responsible for the entire scope of the job. So from start to finish, he'll answer your client questions. And of course, now he can answer your lock questions as well, or any of your product questions. And we should talk that Meg is actually our Girl Friday. She's our communications department assistant who helps with advertising and marketing campaigns, and she handles all of our social media. She also works front end in client care, so if you want to call and talk to Meg about products or about your project, she'll be the one answering the phone.
Yes, I will.
Fantastic. So thanks, you guys. If you want to know more about purchasing these smart locks, you can visit our Facebook page and see Gary and Meg's entire extended product information, and our link is just off the AM650 website.
Enjoy your weekend, Meg and Gary. See you
Cheers.
next week for
See you
another
next week.
edition of Product Face Off. Still ahead on Renovate and Build, living architecture. From walls to rooftops, it's living art, and it's the ultimate in sustainability. Coming up next, Ron Schwinger. He joins us from Architect to share his experience.
There's still lots more ahead. This is Renovate and Build, powered by Fair Trade Works with Jim and Sandra.